welcome to the Warrior's Promise, where we unlock the path to reclaiming your personal power. I'm your host, Victoria Islas, a master trainer, functional health coach, energy healer, and metaphysical practitioner, guiding you through a journey of strength from the inside out. We're going to explore how movement, nutrition, and mindset can help you take back control of your life. This isn't just about fitness or food. This is about healing on all levels, physically, mentally, and spiritually. It's about tapping into your warrior spirit and using that power to face life's challenges with resilience, grace, and confidence. So take a deep breath, stand tall, and let's step into the strength that's already within you. Hey Warriors, welcome back to the Warrior's Promise. I'm your host, Coach Victoria Islas, master trainer and founder of SteelMaceWarrior.com. So today we're diving into something I know a lot of us struggle with, which is staying consistent with our Steel Mace fitness training. And one of the best things about Steel Mace is just how simple it makes things, right? So first of all, it's portable, it doesn't take much space. And you can get in a solid workout pretty much anywhere, right? So it's grab and go. So, if you've got a full schedule or you just don't love the gym vibe, right? This tool was probably made for you, okay? But even with that simplicity, something to keep in mind is that, staying consistent just overall can be pretty tough when, life can get in the way. You can have energy dips. We fall into old patterns. And that's exactly what I want to help you with today. So if you've ever started strong and then you dropped off, or if you're trying to build a rhythm that actually sticks, this episode's for you. And I'm going to walk you through, some real doable ways to stay on track with your Steel Mace training, especially from home. So let's get into that. So first thing we're going to start with, the first tip is having a schedule for your Steel Mace workouts. Now, inside my Unbound Warrior membership over at SMW Academy, by the way, it's taken a nice revamp. And so before it was just called the membership, now it's called Unbound Warrior. And I'm super excited because I just built the new platform for this. So much better than it was before. I would call this like version 2.0, and it's getting better and better every few months. And so I am still working on some stuff in the back end for the platform that's going to make it even better within the next month or so. But it's really awesome already. So, I actually provide a downloadable calendar that you can use to plan out your workouts. All right. So that's why I brought it up, by the way. So if you're already in the membership, make sure that you're using this calendar. It's in there. I made it just for you. Get in there. You just download it, right? And obviously, if you haven't joined yet, I definitely recommend you check it out. It's a great way to start to stay supported and to keep your training on track. And by the way, it's like less than $5 a month, so totally worth it. Cheaper than a gym membership. But look, you don't need my calendar to do this though, so don't worry if you can't sign up for a membership. That's fine. You can grab a notebook, keep it old school. You can print a calendar out of, the internet, or you can use whatever method works best for you. All right. The key here is just to get clear on what days and times you're going to train, and then write them down. Don't just keep it in your head. Don't just think about it. Actually write it down. And why? Why is this important? Because you know your life better than anyone. You know when things get wild. You know when you have the most energy, when you don't. If you're a parent, you know exactly what time to fit things in. So take that into account. Build a schedule that actually works for you, not what works for someone else. So I think a lot of times, we go with a friend or something and we're going based on their schedule, or, they're going based on our schedule. So if that was something that was really bothering you, obviously I know why you picked up the Steel Mace, okay? And yes, you can totally use your phone or your tablet calendar, but I'm going to be real with you on this one. I'm a big believer in writing things down by hand. I think, with all this technology, we're forgetting to just write things down. And, there's real research behind this too, that, writing slows the brain down. It helps you process things more deeply or process information more deeply, and it improves memory. And it's just very much more effective, more powerful, right? Especially for this tip about staying consistent and just setting the schedule, right? So step one is make time to plan your training and get it down somewhere you can see it, all right? And then the next tip, okay, it's all about building a space for yourself. So if you're training at home, having a designated area, no matter how small, how large, whatever, it can make a huge difference. And this space should do three things, okay? It should trigger you to move, so trigger. It should motivate you to show up, motivate. And most importantly, it should help you build discipline, because that's, once motivation leaves, that's all you've got left, all right? And I recently shared some photos of my home training space on Instagram, and I was hesitant for a while because I don't really like to put out a lot of stuff that are personal, but, I call it the warrior room, all right? And I put them out there finally, and it's about 220 square feet, so it's a small space. It's not huge, but it's the best fucking corner that I've got in my home. That space has seen me through some really tough times mentally over the past year. And I'm honestly so grateful to just have that space. Now, if you go look at those photos, you might also think, I always put this out there, like social media doesn't tell you the whole story, right? It doesn't show you the whole picture. You don't know what's going on. And that's part of the reason why I want to do these podcasts, because I want to just speak my truth and be authentic and be real with you. But, you might see my space and think, dang, she's lucky. The setup looks awesome. I wish I can afford that, or I wish I can have a space like that. But trust me, it did not happen overnight. Did not happen overnight. I've been building up that area for the last 7 years. Like a lot of the maces that you see, they were accumulated because I was doing a lot of group classes in town. And so that's why I have a lot of the maces. I had great connections and I networked a lot over the years. I even got gifted some maces, which I'm so grateful for. And, just all this stuff accumulated, back in the day when I was doing more marketing, I had a little extra money, so I was able to get one or two things here and there. So I just want to let you know, it wasn't built overnight. It was built over the last 7 years, ever since my dad passed away. So bit by bit, piece by piece, every part of it is the result of time, effort, and a lot of intention, right? Like if you're not thinking about building a space, you're not going to build a space. Okay. It's as easy as that. If you're not passionate about it, it's not going to happen. Right. So if you're just starting out, don't feel like it has to be perfect right away. I started with nothing. Okay. And 7 years later, my space is looking better and better and better. And one of my big dreams is to one day open a gym. I want to take the warrior room and open it up in my local area. I don't have the funds right now, but that's definitely something that, this space might turn into something bigger in the future. You just never know. So again, doesn't have to be perfect. It could be a small mat in the corner with your mace. Maybe you have a garage. Maybe a garage is a perfect space for it as well, or even your backyard. Okay. But start somewhere, light a candle, put a quote on the wall. Like one of the things that I want to do, and it's killing me, and like I haven't ordered it, but I want to put an LGBTQ flag on my wall. Like those are the things that make it me, right? So you got to make your space you. And again, keep your mace visible and just make it speak for you. Okay. Now over time, that space is going to grow with you, and it's going to become a powerful part of your journey. That I promise. That's a warrior promise. And finally, let's go into this last tip. And by the way, I could give you a million tips to stay consistent, but honestly, I'm just sharing the ones that like come straight to mind because they've made a difference for me. And these are the ones that, I feel actually work and are also the simplest ones that you can integrate like tomorrow if you wanted to start these. So one of the key things that I've already mentioned, and I'll say it again, is keeping your Steel Mace visibility. And this may seem simple, but it's super powerful. We need triggers to get us moving and keep us moving, right? And that's what this topic is all about, consistency. And that's exactly what a visible mace will do for you. When it's in your line of sight, it becomes a reminder that it's time to show up. You can't ignore it when it's sitting there calling you to take action. Now, trust me on this one. When I first started out, I made the mistake. Okay. And this is because I was like really frustrated, right? With the mace. Actually, the mace that I got was 7 pounds. Her name is Lilith. And I remember just being so frustrated because I couldn't do a Steel Mace 360. So what I ended up doing is I gave up. I gave up completely. Okay. This was years ago. And when I first started, and I made the mistake of just tossing the mace in the corner, out of sight and out of mind. And it wasn't long before, it started gathering dust. And I just remember feeling frustrated, like I didn't want to deal with it. So I left it there for months. Okay. And it wasn't until I really needed it again that I dusted it off. But by that time I had lost some of my momentum, but it was fine. It worked out. Because by the time I picked up my mace again, it was when my dad passed away. We were living on a ranch for a while with my dad because we didn't think he was going to last very long because of his cardiovascular disease. And so I just remember like meeting up with my parents one day. I was living in my apartment and they were living in their home. And I remember just looking at them like, I think we should spend these last years together. And so we lived off the grid for a little bit. I would say off the grid because even getting internet out there was so difficult. It was so slow. I remember hating that about it. But the ranch was awesome. And we lost everything after my dad passed away. Like we couldn't stay there anymore. We couldn't afford it. Our income dropped tremendously. And so we ended up moving. And, I remember packing my mace with me to California. We're moving to California after that with family members. And that was the one thing I had. And so as you can tell, the Steel Mace is a very significant part of my story. And it's part of the reason why, I started this back up again. And then that's when everything changed for me, right? That's when I got really passionate about Steel Mace and my own story with Steel Mace began, right? So anyways, I had lost some momentum, but I got it back. I learned quickly that if you keep your mace out of sight, it can easily slip out of your mind too. Okay. So what I recommend is keeping it in your dedicated training space, somewhere where you'll see it daily. Maybe it's on a stand, hanging on a hook, or even just leaned against the wall. I know if you get a mace that has a little flat area at the head, it will actually stand on its own too. So the key is to make it easy to grab whenever you need it. Make it more visible. And the more visible it is, the more likely you're going to actually train. All right. So I promise that, keeping it right in front of you has a huge impact. And it's not just about physical access. It's about mental access too. So seeing your mace reminds you of the commitment that you've made to yourself. And that small visual trigger is all it takes to set the momentum in motion. All right. I think the momentum and motion put together really that got me right now. Okay, so warriors, it's time to get to work. As you know, in this podcast, I give you homework to take home. Homework for today. This is it, okay? These are the actions I want you to take to stay consistent with your Steel Mace training. Number 1, let's just do a recap. Schedule your workouts. The action is to take 10 minutes today to plan your Steel Mace training. So grab a notebook, calendar, use your phone, write it down, write down the exact days and times that you're going to dedicate to training each week. Commit to a schedule that works for you. I get it. Life gets busy. So don't just pick up random times, right? Don't just say, I'm going to work out today, and then you're not going to work out for another week, right? So plan around your energy levels and all your other commitments. And then here's a bonus. If you are a member of the Unbound Warrior membership, be sure to download your training calendar and get it filled out today. And again, if you're not enrolled, go check it out. I'm going to put a link in the description somewhere below, and you can go read all about it and enroll today. Okay. It's less than $5 a month. So second, create your dedicated training space. The action is to build your training space, even if it's small right now. Okay, find a spot in your home where you can keep your Steel Mace visible. It could be as simple as a mat on the floor, a corner of your living room, or a dedicated space in your garage or your backyard. And then add something personal like a candle, a motivational quote, or a picture that inspires you. The goal is to create a space that calls you to show up even when the motivation dips happen, okay? And it is going to happen, I'll tell you right now. I'm a coach and it happens to me. And then third, make sure your Steel Mace is visible. Put it in a spot where you cannot ignore it. Place it somewhere you're going to see it multiple times a day. I would even say like your space too. Obviously if your space is in the garage, you're not going to like go through the garage every single day unless you have your car in there or something. But put the mace, I don't know, in the living room in front of your TV. If one of your bad habits is watching TV right away when you get home instead, and that's your time to work out, like put it in the living room. You get what I'm saying, right? So remember, the more visible it is, the more likely you are to pick it up and start training. And then bonus, if you've been putting your mace in a closet or hidden in the corner, take it out today and put it in front of you in the center, okay? And then just be honest about your progress, all right? This is a little bonus one. Action. Track your consistency. At the end of each week, reflect on how well you stuck to your schedule. Did you show up? Were there any obstacles? And then make adjustments as needed. If you missed a session, don't beat yourself up. Just get back to your plan and use that as feedback as well. Like, let's say, you did a workout at the beginning, you missed a workout at the beginning of the week. Well, then make it up at the end of the week if you have time. You know what I mean? And if not, shoot, you could even roll it over to the next week. You get what I'm saying? Like, just don't give up. Stay consistent. And then just celebrate all your small wins. All right. That's something you're going to hear me all the time as a coach. Like, celebrate every single small win, whether you completed a full workout or just picked up the mace, it's progress. Like just the other day, me and my client, we were in the warrior room, and we couldn't do the full cycles in our Tabata. So what did we do? We shortened it, but we didn't say, oh, we can't do it today, forget it. And just like completely like lazy it out and just say, we'll do it another day. No, we made it work. So if we were short on time, guess what? We modified the workout to just get it done. And so you got to get really creative, and you got to get really like into it and like say, okay, no, I'm not going to miss today. So what can I do? Like if I have time at the end of the day, then maybe I can squeeze it in the end of the day, or, maybe I can get it done at the end of the week, or I can roll it over and not miss that day so that you feel good, right? So there's a lot of things that you can do, all right? So there you have it, all right? So your actionable homework to get more consistent with your Steel Mace training, you've got the tools. Now it's time to take action. You've got the tool, I would say, the Steel Mace. So remember, consistency is key, but it's not about perfection, okay? Don't try to perfect it out. Like I said, you just find solutions, okay? You dropped out one day, okay, cool, find a solution. Just show up. It's just about showing up for yourself, okay? And every step, it's gonna get you closer to whatever goal you may have, okay? So anyways, I'm Coach Victoria Islas. I believe in you. And I'll be here supporting you every step of the way. All right. If you haven't already subscribed to my YouTube, if you're listening to this on YouTube, if you haven't subscribed to my podcast, wherever you're listening to this podcast, make sure that you follow, subscribe, whatever the heck the button is, just click it. And I'm going to be giving you more podcast episodes as good as this one. As we go. All right. So let's stay connected. Obviously, if you have social media, go follow me on Instagram or Facebook at Steel Mace Warrior. And that is all for today. I hope it helps. I'm out.